Now to Zambia, where the National Action for Quality Education in Zambia has commended the government's move to fulfill its campaign promise of free education through the timely disbursement of 324 million kwacha towards the 2022 first quarter operation support for public schools. Now, the NAQEZ Executive Director, Aaron Chansa, says the move is a good start as it is a sign the government attaches great importance to the educational sector.
Well, however, government has gone further to ban schools from forcing parents to buy uniforms from schools, a move likely to cripple financial stability of schools who will now solely depend on government grants, with some critics attributing the move to free education. Well, joining us this morning on Breakfast Central is the Regional Coordinator, Congress of Trade Union, ZCTU Southern Province, Dr. Kambombo Kashumba, to help us understand the implication of this move on schools. Good morning, Doctor, and thank you so much for joining us now. Dr. Kashumba, as a lecturer yourself at an education institution, what is the implication of a free education on the delivery of a quality education and also the smooth running of schools? Doctor, hope you're there and you can hear us.
Thank you so much. You are very clear. I'm getting you. Thank you very much. The implication of free education, more especially here in Zambia, is that we are going to experience increased enrollment in most of the schools that we are having here in Zambia. And we are also going to have an increase in the number of children, more especially those who are coming from disadvantaged families, those the disabled children, those who are coming from the poor families, and all those who are do not have the means to acquire education. So the implication, more especially on the poor children, on the Zambian community, is quite huge, and it will also increase. If you may want to know, increase the levels of numeracy as well as the levels of literacy levels amongst the people in Zambia. As you are aware that literacy levels and numeracy levels in Africa are one of the challenges which impede development in the African continent.
All right, now, Doctor, I mean, this free education we're talking about is a move that Akande Hichilema promised as way back as 2014. But we've also noted that the government has banned schools from forcing parents to buy their children's school uniform in schools. Now, what effect will this move have on the schools, especially those schools who have invested heavily in terms of purchasing uniforms in preparation for this, or not?
Yeah, I think I may want to believe that before government introduced the issue of abolishing, or rather restraining schools from selling the school uniforms, there could have been some conversations or dialogue that took place between the schools and also government. And in this case, I'm sure government, and I'm reliably informed that government has done an assessment of all the requirements that are required in schools. And if government has done its homework, it means that the schools which have got these uniforms, I'm sure they can still find, I think, other means to dispose them, or maybe even through collaboration also maybe with the private sector to see how they can dispose these things, unlike selling them from the schools. Because the idea that we've gotten is that most of the schools which were selling uniforms in schools were selling these uniforms at a very high price. And because of that, government, more especially the New Dawn government, which is...
All right, Doctor.
Do we still have Dr. Kashumba there?
Is now in place, and which is the government of the people, has now requested the schools of arrangement where most of the parents were having challenges to buy those school uniforms, which are being sold at a very high cost, unlike those which are being sold on the market, which are a little bit on the lower side. And because of that, I think most of the parents are very happy with that move. I can say that.
All right. No doubt most parents will be happy. I mean, down here in other parts of Africa, particularly West Africa, parents are being told to ensure that they buy school uniforms. I mean, we've had parents who even go ahead to boycott that buying and make the school uniforms themselves. But let's look at the money that has been released. It was a campaign promise, and this campaign promise is now being realized and being fulfilled. First of all, the money being released, is it going to be enough? And is this all of it, or there will be more? Will they be coming in trenches? Please let us know.
Yeah, thank you very much. The 324 million, which government has released for the implementation of free education, I think it is a good move. But what I'm not so sure is whether this is the total bill of all the school requirements for all the schools. I'm not very sure. For now, I think we are supposed to wait, first of all, and because this is a new government which is just beginning, and we are supposed to give them a little bit of time and give them a benefit of doubt. And it has never happened that free education being introduced in this manner. It only happened during the Kaunda regime, but since then, this is for the first time that it is being introduced. And since it's a new thing, I think it's important for all of us, all the stakeholders, to give government a chance, to give government an opportunity to see how this program of free education introduced is going to take place. In any case, for any implementation which government introduces, I think there will be a stage where an evaluation will be undertaken. And after an evaluation, or rather an assessment has been undertaken, I think it will be at that level, then government can be engaged to realize whether the monies that have been pumped in are sufficient or they are insufficient. At this moment, I think we are supposed to wait and see how this program is going to be rolled out throughout the country.
All right, Doctor, you're telling us to exercise a little bit of patience to see just how transparent these funds will be fully utilized. Now, it's one thing to release these funds. It's another thing to ensure it is a sustainable project. Is it part of the budget for 2022 for Zambian people, or is it just a one-off that we may not be expecting to continue in the nearest future?
I think you may want to know that when a political party campaigns, they've got a manifesto, and in their manifesto, they've got the ideologies which they would want at the end of the day, in fact, reform those into policies that will govern not only the education system, but the entire government system. And so in this case, the UPND government is a new government. That's why I'm saying that it's very important when a new government introducing new systems in place are given an opportunity to execute their new plans. And in this case, we are talking about the implementation of the free education. Of course, you may want to know that this issue of free education did not just commence with the UPND government. I think it is one of the strategies which former governments have been pondering on. And not only the Zambian government, but also international institutions have been encouraging nations to undertake. You may want to know that in 1990, there was the Jomtien conference in Thailand. And out of this conference, which was held in Thailand, a lot of UN associate nations gathered in Thailand, and when they agreed on the issues on the education system, issues of free education, issues of equity, issues of equality, they also agreed that these issues must be domesticated in those nations, and free education was one of them. And in the quest of the Zambian government to implement this, the Zambian government introduced two policy documents, which is the focus on learning, the 1992 focus on learning, as well as the 1996 Educating Our Future policy document. It's a huge document. It's pregnant with information that can propel the education system. And free education is one of those which is in this document. And I believe that the UPND government has also read this document, and they are trying to implement one of the international resolutions which was agreed at Jomtien International Conference.
All right, Doctor, thank you so much. Let's just see, like you rightly advised, we should exercise a little bit of patience because this is a new administration, the UPND administration. Let's see how fully effective these funds will be utilized. But thank you so much, Regional Coordinator, Congress of Trade Union, ZCTU, Southern Province, Dr. Kambombo Kashumba. Thank you so much for joining the program.